friends, and welcome to Tom's Tinkering and Adventures. Today we're going to continue working on the Winchester 1400, and we should be getting her all back together. Here's where we left off. Got everything cleaned up, lubricated, some items painted here. So let's see if we can't get it together. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install this buttstock onto the receiver, and if y'all remember, there is a long bolt that goes through here. So let's see if we can make that happen. Maybe. And then once I get this on, then I'm going to put this recoil pad on the end as well. Okay, it's starting to look like a shotgun again here. Okay, I think the next item to go in here should be the bolt. So let me set this up here so we can see this decent. I think I'm going to get some rags or something to hold this, because otherwise it's going to be a little bit floppy messing around with this. Okay, so you're looking straight down, and here's the bolt, and this just will slide in from the front. Like that. And next we want to put in the firing pin and the spring, and those go in the back of this. There's a little, it has to kind of line up through there. The next thing we're going to put on here is the charging handle. So on the bottom of this charging handle, it has this little angle. And what that's supposed to do is it's supposed to, here I'm going to have to pull this back out now that I got this in here. So this charging handle bolts to the, with a little screw, screws to the top of the bolt, and it holds this firing pin in. This little angle holds that in there. So what you have to do is get this in here, hold that in, and then we have to finagle this into here as well, and on top of here, and push this firing pin in until it gets underneath where that thing holds it. So it'll be like that right there. Now in the meantime, I have to try to get this screw right in there. So let me I got ahead of myself. I got my screw in this bag here, so I have to try to hold this down with one finger, open this bag with my other hand, get that screw out, which I just did, get that in there, locate my screwdriver and screw that in. All right, hey, I managed to get that all done. And that firing pin should fit in there. There you go. Ideally. The next item we need to try to squeeze in here is this shell extractor. Now it has this little hole here on this end, and way down in here, let me see if I can light this up a little bit, if I have a flashlight that operates. Right down there, you can see there's a little pin that sticks out. So what we need to do is we need to install this thing with the bow going outward and get it over that in some way or another. You can kind of just sneak it in this way. And I know you can't see very well in there, but now what I have to do is just trying to pry it up and over that pin. So I'm going to slide it in a little bit more, I think. I'll try to. And then I'm going to use the screwdriver and pry it up and over that. And you're probably not going to be able to see this, so I will bring you back and show you how it looks when it's on there. It actually went pretty well. Here, let me see if we can bring you in this way. There you go. Sorry for the shaky camera work there. But there it is, sitting on top of that pin. Okay, so we're running out of parts here. The next thing I'm going to get is these action bars. And what you need to do for that is, I need to turn this whole works over this way. There we go. And we need to get this spring in here. And probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this this cap over the end of it to hold it. So I'm going to look something up here because I'm looking at this spring and it looks a little bit different on each end. So I want to make sure I'm putting it in here correctly. So let me check and I'll be right back. Okay, so I took a look at some of the photos when I was taking this thing apart. And if you look at this spring, it kind of looks like it has this fatter area here. And from what my pictures look like, that end is on the outside here. So that's the way we're going to put it together. Hopefully there's no issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push these pieces in just the way that it came apart here. And I'm going to put this cap on the end to hold it just to make my life a little bit easier. And if you look in here, you can see there's a couple of holes. Hopefully these will line up. All right, well, I need to get those holes lined up, so it looks like I might have put that in upside down. So let me flip it around and we'll get that lined up and we'll come right back. Okay, so let's see if you can see it now here. You can kind of see they line up right there. I don't know how well you can see that. The next item I'm going to do is we're going to take the action bar and we're going to slide that into here, into the receiver. And I'll show you how that lines up onto the bolt here in just a moment. And then what I need to do is bring this spring back. Hopefully. Bring this spring back until I can line up this piston. Which you need a couple of hands, it looks like, to make this happen. Got to be pretty close because I can see the there we go. There's that. And then you got to drop this pin into here to hold the whole thing together. In a perfect world. Well, you need about 3 or 4 hands here to do this. All right, let me reattack this thing. And of course, 1 second after I'm off camera, we're lined up there. Voila. Okay, let's bring you over here, hopefully. You can see what's going on. Now these action bars line up. There are some notches. See the notches? Well, there's one right there. There's one right there. They line up right into there with the bolt. So all I should have to do is slide this bolt forward and get these notches to drop into that bolt. There we go. All right. Now the bolt should operate the action bars. So what happens is, once I drop the trigger group in here, it's going to hold them down into there. So all I have to do is just kind of get them positioned for now. Okay. And now we have the trigger group. Actually, before I put that in, I'm going to put some lube down in here. So let me lubricate that thing all up and I'll come right back. Okay, the trigger group just goes in. You put it in at sort of an angle. It's got these little notches in here. And then this is what holds the action bars in. So you just kind of drop it in like this. These should go in underneath there, like that. And then you push the whole works down. Actually, I need to release this trigger. Hang on. There we go. And in it goes. And once I have it in position, we're going to put this locking pin in. Hopefully you can see this now. And then this pin just goes into here. Let's try it from the other side. All right, yeah, we're just off just a little tiny bit. Shouldn't take much to get it in there though. I say that as I'm on the camera here. There we go. All right, now all we have left to do is to install the barrel. So let's get at it. Okay, to install the barrel, we can remove this cap. Remember we put that on to hold the spring while we were attempting to get that pin on the action bars. But now that the pin is on there holding this piston, I guess it is, in there. And our barrel and our barrel forestock or foregrip or whatever you want to call it. And that just slides on like that. And then this whole works. Slides on like this. And then this piece threads onto here. And what I'm going to have to do is pull this action back because you can see we're not all the way into a receiver there. So there we go, locked back. we go. All right. And there we have it. Let me see if we can operate the action on this thing. There we go. Look at that, there's a little bit of a paint run there. Oh well. This side looks a lot better than it did. You can still see kind of some of the imperfections in there, but this is going to be a nice shooter. There you go. We have a little bit of a gloss back into our stock. Barrel doesn't look too awful. You get up close, it doesn't look great, but this is going to be a real nice shooter, like I said. Action works pretty smoothly here. There we go. Now, I just have to look forward to getting out and shooting this bad boy, see how it operates, because it feels really nice. Winchester made some pretty dang good guns. I don't know when this model came out. I could look up the date on it, but you know, 70s or 80s, right around there would be my guess. And this is a lifetime gun, really, is what it is. This thing could be handed down through generations as long as you take care of it. And I think we have brought it back from the dead, basically. This thing was destined to go to the scrap heap. And it's not perfect. I mean, I just did a quick garage redo on it here. That corrosion there. Like I said, I could spend a little bit more time and maybe touch up blue that, but the rest of the barrel, with some care, will last a long time. That'll last a long time too. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with this. Took care of it just with items I had here in the garage, so I didn't have to go out and buy anything special to bring this shotgun back from the dead. All right, so next on the agenda, I think, will be this old J.C. Higgins. It'll be pretty much the same thing, except on this one, I think I would like to completely redo this stock. I don't really care for the look of that really dark wood. Bring it to more of a color like the Winchester. And then we'll see what we do with this black powder. And I know these other two 12 gauges will be really good shooters. So, there you have it. Winchester 1400 Resurrection. I love it. Thank you very much for watching. Get out there and find your adventure. Adios.